Hello and welcome to the SKS Bailey Group coronavirus support videos for our clients. This is the first one of this second lockdown. Obviously, for those of you that have been with us all the way through since March, you'll remember that we do one of these a week through lockdown just to keep our spirits up and to keep you all informed about what's happening and what isn't happening and what changes are made to government grants and government handouts that you can claim. So we're in the second lockdown, so we're going to start these again. So this is the first one. There'll be one each week now for the next 3 or 4 weeks. And those of you who are bright-eyed and bushy-tailed will note that I've got my two friends back with us. We've got Sean and we've got Benny behind us there. Obviously they were in isolation. For those of you that don't know, I actually had the dreaded COVID disease, and it put me on my back for 3 or 4 weeks. And in that time, obviously, all of my little farmyard behind me had to be self-isolated, and that caused a few problems, I can assure you. So I've got 6 or 7 things to go through today. The main one obviously being the new coronavirus job retention scheme. Or when I say new, it isn't really new, is it? It's exactly the same scheme as you had previously. So just to go over those points on the main points on the scheme with you. It's 80% of your staff wages. You pay the NI, you pay the pension costs, maximum £2,500 a month. It's extended right the way through till March, but for November, they're going to review it at the end of November to see what happens in December, and then review it in January to see what happens in January, etc., etc. So it'll be an ongoing review process. And what we need to understand is there's one slight change. That change is that you can now claim for employees who were employed as at the 30th of October 2020. So if you're a new business, previously you could never have claimed the furlough because you had to be employed at the end of on the 19th or 18th of March. In this new scheme, or the extended scheme I should say, then you can claim if the employee was on an RTI at the end of October. So that's a really important point. So you need to just make sure that that point is crystal clear. Again, the same other rules apply. The staff, if they are furloughed, cannot do any revenue generating work. They can do administration work. They can go and help out other businesses. If they've got more than one job, they can be furloughed from both jobs. They can be furloughed from one job. All that thing is exactly the same. It's just the the date that they're employed. There you go. You see, proof I've had the COVID. I've still got a little bit of the cough floating around. There we go. If you listen very carefully, you might be able to hear one of my two little friends here coughing in the background as well. So what's happening with the other ones, the self-employment scheme? That's been extended as well. So we now have a self-employment scheme for 3 months, November, December and January. You'll be getting 80% of that based on your 2019 return. Basically the same figure that you got previously, you'll be getting again. And then it'll go from February, March and April. Now the February, March and April one, that may well be determined by your 2020 tax return, because that's got to be in by the end of January. We don't know that yet. That's the whispers we're getting. So we're keeping our ear to the ground, and we'll let you know as soon as we know about that one. Just to remind you, those two, so the Corona job retention scheme and the self-employment scheme, they're both taxable elements. So you will be taxed on the amounts that you receive through those schemes. Couple of other points, very quick ones. The job retention bonus that you were going to get paid in February, if you kept the person on who you'd furloughed earlier in the year at the end of January, then that's been pushed out as well. So that won't come in February. That will probably come in April after the end of the scheme in March. That's if the scheme ends in March, of course. We might be in lockdown 4 by then, and you might be on episode 27 by then. So we don't know. We just don't know what's happening there. Bounce back loans, they've been extended. So if you haven't claimed a bounce back loan yet, and you think you may need one, those have been extended to the end of December. Excuse me, and there's no reason to doubt that deadline won't be extended further if we keep in the lockdown for longer. Remember, the bounce back loans, very, very straightforward. No repayments for the first year, very low interest, 2%, 2.5% after that. It's been extended now, so you don't pay them back over 5 years, you pay them back over 10 years, so it's even less to pay back every month, and there's no security, it's guaranteed by the government. So that's a really, really good thing there. Another couple of things to talk about very quickly. Capital gains tax on property. If you own a property and you sell that property and you make a profit on that property and it's residential, then you need to inform HMRC that you've made a profit on that property and pay the tax within 30 days. Really, really important. It does not cover your own main home. It covers any other property that you own. So you own a rental property, residential property clearly, and you sell it, you have to inform the revenue within 30 days. If not, you will be fined. There are fines being issued now for people who have not done that. In most of the fines, they postponed them during coronavirus. This one has not been postponed. You will be fined. So you need to tell us as soon as you sell a property, get us the completion statement. We can fill in the form for you. Of course, there'll be a very small fee for filling the form in. And then moving forward, at least you'll be at all square with the revenue, and you've got to pay any taxes owed within the 30 days of the sale. One more thing, we're going to start doing some webinars, so look out for the webinars on our website. Unfortunately, it'll be my wonderfully fired up face that will be on those webinars, and depending on how long this lockdown goes on for, then we may have a loud shirt competition again. You remember we had that in the previous lockdown, so we may well be doing that. Problem is, I've got to find a shop now that can sell all the loud shirts. I've got one online. I'm not telling you who it is though, because there'll be competition, won't there? Okay, so good to be back. For all those who are concerned about my health, thanks very much for all your good wishes. I am back to normal, as you can see. A little bit of a cough, but we're all right. We've beaten the virus. So that's it for today. We'll see you next Monday, and then we'll be on for the other couple of Mondays in November. Okay, see you later. Bye bye.